In The Wedding Veil 2 Unveiled, even more mysteries are uncovered about the veil. If you're keeping track, what we've found so far is a heart done in pearls, the letter A, a good luck charm, Lucky Charms, the winners of the 2022 Super Bowl, and this other message that I can't quite make out. Sorry, I couldn't help it. And welcome to my channel. And yes, I'm a ham. Hi guys, it's Bea. Welcome to my channel, and I am so excited to talk about The Wedding Veil 2 Unveiled today. I just watched it for the second time, and I am so in love with this movie. It reminded me of Under the Tuscan Sun, only I can watch it with my children. So this is the trilogy. In the first movie, it was all about Avery, but now it's Emma's turn. She's an art history professor who's taking the veil to Italy with her. She's teaching an art history class to Italian students anyway, so it was the perfect opportunity to bring the veil along and find out more of the history on this mysterious veil. Was it just me, or did your blood pressure go down like right when Emma arrives in Italy? The music, the scenery throughout, you could feel the romance, you could feel the more laid-back attitude of the Italians, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Emma's walking around basically the entire time, just taking in the sights and the sounds, and I'm guessing the amazing smells, rocking look after look after look. She looked incredible. She looked like a model on a runway, the way she was walking. She's so graceful, and it just totally comes across. I was so enamored with just everything I was seeing, from the wardrobe to all the sights, including Paolo. Yes, Paolo. Paolo is a dashing and attractive Italian that Emma meets almost immediately. He helps her with her ticket in order to take a ride on the ferry, and then once she's on the island, he ends up being part owner of the lace shop that she finds. This lace shop is the oldest shop on the island, and it happens to be the same shop that made the veil. Not only that, quickly we realize that this veil is the veil of the great aunt of Paolo's grandmother. It's a little confusing. I didn't know if I should make a family tree or not. But I don't know if we want to get that deep in it. There's a lot of details and a lot of layers to this movie, so I didn't know how deep to go because I didn't want to put everyone to sleep. But suffice it to say, they go on this incredible journey through Italy, drinking lots of espresso, spending lots of quality time, having lots of romantic moments, and throughout it all, figuring out more and more about the veil and about Arianna and who she was as a woman. The reason this still is a mystery that Paolo and Emma want to discover is why Arianna was not wearing that veil in her wedding. So they go on a little hunt to see if they can dig up more information. They go to a museum where they find sketches that Amici drew of Arianna before he did the portrait. And in the sketches, Arianna is smiling. She's not smiling in the portrait, so they're not really sure why. They discover a book that is the biography of Amici, and in the book they discover that Amici and Arianna were in love. But Arianna couldn't marry Amici. She couldn't disappoint her family, so she had to continue on with the marriage of the Count, which she really didn't want to do. So Amici later died of a broken heart. Later on, they discover new sketches by Amici of a little girl. They don't know who it is, and then they find a christening dress inside of Arianna's old chest. The little girl's name is Claudia, and as they look at photographs, they discover on the back of the one of the little girl, it said, "My most precious secret." So Arianna and Amici actually had a secret daughter that Arianna then gave to her chambermaid and said, "Here, can you please raise Claudia as your own?" Because again, I wouldn't want to dishonor my family. Carmela, who is the chambermaid, she actually gets married in the veil, and then she passes the veil down to her daughter who moved to San Francisco. I'm kind of wondering if in the third movie, maybe we're actually going to find that daughter. The third movie, it looks like it's going to be based in New York, but the veil was found in San Francisco, so I don't know if they're going to do that. But wouldn't it be cool if they could uncover a little bit more of the mystery? I think that would just be amazing. Obviously, as this is going on, Emma and Paolo are falling in love. But Emma's already been burned by long-distance relationships in the past, so she decides at the end to say arrivederci to Paolo. And it's so heartbreaking because you know they would be so amazing together, but she just doesn't want to try long distance anymore. Thankfully, he finds out that he can open a new store in Chicago where she's from. He hops on a train that's just starting to move in order to capture her and her heart, which he does. And then 6 months later, they get married. And of course, all the gals are there. It is a beautiful ceremony. She is looking gorgeous, and it is the happiest of endings. Of course, the veil is torn at the very end, and who needs to take care of it? Tracy. Tracy is going to get it fixed back in New York. So cut to that third movie. Okay, so just out of being consistent, I'm gonna ask the question, did we get Valentine vibes from this movie? There's not Valentine's Day, but it had more than enough romance. So let's go right over to the rom and the rom-com. Let's talk romance. I just about died. There were parts of the movie where I almost exploded. I was just like, almost gonna burst into flame. It was so magical and romantic. I mean, Paolo and she in that stadium on that evening where they were honoring the patron saint of lost things, and they've got all the lanterns and they're holding hands. There's that scene that I just about died. They're about to find the chest and they're trying on hats, and then he sings part of the song Cheek to Cheek to her as if he's Fred Astaire, and he comes in close. Oh my gosh. I could die. I mean, if it had been me, I would have just melted right into the floor. I loved Paolo's charisma. He was just so suave, but he wasn't arrogant, which I feel like a lot of Italian men are portrayed as that in a lot of things that I've seen. But he was sweet, he was intelligent, he was just the perfect gentleman. I mean, he really was. That scene in the car where he puts his glasses on, I mean, oh my heavens, who wouldn't love that? And when they're making the lace and he shows her the best way to hold the needle so that she can really make that lace. It's so good. I'm sorry, I think I need to go watch this movie again. Anyway, at the wedding, I thought the wedding was so lovely. She looked absolutely gorgeous, and I love how she wore the same veil, but she wore it so differently and so like Emma, as opposed to the way that Avery wore the veil in the first movie. And I thought that was so cool. As you know, I like to pretend that the com in the rom-com stands for cringe or moan. So I have to be kind of nitpicky to even find anything to cringe or moan about. To be honest, I was a little disappointed when Emma was talking about how she felt that it was likely that Claudia was Ariana and Amici's daughter. And immediately Paolo was like, no, well, we don't know. We just don't know. I felt like since he had been really interested and along for the ride and really receptive to anything the entire journey, it seemed kind of different that he was all of a sudden being like, well, we don't know. But I thought, well, maybe he's doing that because he feels like to admit that Ariana and Amici had a love child would be like to dishonor Ariana's memory, and that's his great, great, great aunt. So maybe that's why he felt weird just saying, yes, that's probably true. The other thing, this is terrible. Again, if you saw my wedding veil review, you know I have a little thing against Peter. Peter got under my skin. And it happened again. I thought it was so funny that they were like, where's Peter? When it was at the very end, they were gonna toast the veil and Peter's missing. Now, obviously, in real life, I understand that Kevin McGarry has much to do and he can't make it to every single movie, so I get that. But I just thought it was funny. They're like, where's Peter? He's watching football. I was like, oh, Peter. I just can't let Peter go. I just need to get over it. Hopefully he and Paolo will make it into the third movie. I think that would be lovely. Okay, the third com that again really isn't a com. This is more of just a interesting fact, and I noticed that they did it differently, and I'm just wondering, I wish that they could do these again, because here's the thing, guess what? So I think I mentioned that this movie series is based on the book There Goes the Bride by Laurie Wilde. Well, in There Goes the Bride by Laurie Wilde, it's an Irish veil. So if they were to do something like this again and go to Ireland instead of Italy, I wouldn't be upset about that. I could go for it. I mean, let's do it. Let's do it next year. A whole new trilogy based on the veil. I'm all for it. All right, so now it's time to rate this movie. This movie is closest to perfection as you're gonna get. I love, love, love this movie. I love the scenery. I love the music. I love the wardrobe. I love the chemistry. I loved Autumn Reeser. She has been one of my favorite actresses on Hallmark since 2012's Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. This movie, The Wedding Veil 2, is probably my favorite Autumn Reeser movie, finally unseating Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm amazed that I'm saying that, but I am saying that. I loved Paolo, who played Paolo. His name is actually Paolo. How funny. I thought their chemistry was so great together. I thought he was so great. I love the Italian family. I'm giving this movie 5 hearts, 5 out of 5. In the ranking, I know you're not going to be at all surprised. The only other Loveuary movie we've had so far, I guess technically, is The Wedding Veil 1, Something Old. So I'm going to say that The Wedding Veil 1, Something Old is ranked second, and my number 1 movie for Loveuary, and let's face it, probably the entire year on Hallmark, is The Wedding Veil 2, Unveiled. I just loved it so much. So in any case, that is my review of Wedding Veil 2. I've got more content here if you would like. I'm looking forward to Wedding Veil 3 oh so very much. Cannot wait. I'm wondering how it's going to stack up against 2 and 1. But in any case, because it's February, I'm going to say I hope that you get all that your heart desires. Take care. Bye.